Vino, Sportsmemo, as well as the doctor in the house, Dr. Chuck RX, also joining us here. And welcome those of you joining us across the many platforms here, across the board, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, a few very strange European porn sites we're showing up on for some reason. I'm not sure. But either way, we are here to talk NBA, and we're here to make it a very profitable day for you. Light card here, guys. Today, it's, 6 games, 5 games, 6. I stopped counting back in third grade. But the reality is there is some money and some value on this board here tonight. But we will start with a big pat on the back. And amazingly enough, it's not going to come from the doc here. It's actually for Rob and Tony, who were on the show yesterday. And yesterday, these guys, they both were in unison singing the praises of Oklahoma City. And gentlemen, congratulations. Oklahoma City crushed it. Tony also all over the Lakers. Even with he only goes to the Lakers when Ski's not on the show, but he was all over the Lakers. Lakers ended up cashing, and it was a profitable night there. So, Rob, congratulations, man. Great call on OKC last night, man.
Yeah, one of the games that actually during the show we had skipped over, but when Best Bets came around, Tony went to it. I followed him on that. I liked it myself, and for last night, for client services, we added to that the Lakers Cavaliers over, which, you know, you have to love teams that put up 81-point second halves, guys. I mean, when you're playing over and it looks dead at halftime, and then Lakers come back. A little different than what they had been doing. Their first quarters, the last couple of games had both been 40-plus. Last night, the third quarter was 40-plus. So, good night overall, Joe, show and client service-wise.
Yep, it was a good time. Finn, your call on the Lakers, too, spot on. Not only first half, but full game. Good job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited? What is that feedback there? Who is that? Turn your microphone back. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Let's dive into what we got here tonight, because we do have some very interesting games on the card that we want to take a look at, and we will start game number 1 here, guys. Phoenix Suns taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this game was off the card a little bit earlier today. If you were trying to get lines on it, it does look like Trae Young is going to play. At least that's what they told us. And then all hell broke loose with the total opened up at 225. I'm seeing 230.5 now at this point. I'm seeing 5 for Phoenix, now down to -3. So we've got Phoenix on the road here as a favorite, laying 3. The total is 230. Ski, welcome back in, brother. Let's start with you, man. Trae Young back for Atlanta. Does it make a damn bit of difference right now?
Hell yeah, it makes a lot of difference. And
hell yeah, right off the bat, huh? Damn.
As far as these Phoenix Suns, no Rubio, it's no. I mean, I already don't look their way. They're already a team that's a hell no team for me. But no Rubio, it's no way that I could look towards Phoenix. And if you have Trae Young in the lineup, I don't see any reason why they should be the dog. I think they should be the favorite. So I'd have to look towards Atlanta. And as far as the total, I understand the line move. I mean, Trae Young is a lot of points if he was missing. So I don't think either team mine's running up and down. I don't feel very strong about the total, but I'd probably lean towards the over as well.
Going towards the over. Tony Finn, Phoenix 6-2-1 against the number in its last 9 versus Atlanta. Can I persuade you to take a few shares of Phoenix in this game?
No.
Okay.
Not without Rubio.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not without Rubio, and without Rubio, I don't. Devin Booker's just listen. Devin Booker is a good player. But without Rubio, he's not as trustworthy either.
Well said. How about it, Doc? Talk to me here, brother, man. It's been a while since you blew smoke up your own ass, so talk to us here, man. How about it? Phoenix, Atlanta, where are you going with this?
Well, I totally agree with Ski, as we have for weeks with the Suns. It's a hell no for me. I usually go the hell no route with Rubio. Not always does it work. But the Suns at home are not a good cover. They have, I think, 2 times they've covered in the last 7 at home, both by a half point. And they've lost 4 in a row against the spread and only won 2 of those games. And I would have this really close to a pick'em. And so, you know, if you got on there when Trae Young was iffy and Rubio was in a little better status, you probably have a crazy good 5 or 4 up there. But I like 3.5 just as much.
That is some great stats if Phoenix was actually home, but they are actually on the road. It's in Atlanta, but don't let the home road dichotomy mess with just a whole bunch of stats you're throwing out. So go ahead.
Yeah, Phoenix doesn't cover it all. They've not covered 4 in a row. Is the terrible way I went around saying that. So
yes.
Yeah, take the Hawks. Take the Hawks and tell me to shut up.
Nope, not a problem. There you go. It's amazing. I bet you would have got Philadelphia right, though, huh? Rob, talk to me. Is it you going to make it a universal hell no with Rubio? Give us Rubio, give us death. What are you doing here, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've pounded that drum before. I would pound it again when Ricky Rubio's in the game. It's because the backup point guard situation is just so difficult for Phoenix. What are we going to do? Are we going to see Tyler Johnson? Will we see will Ty Jerome finally get off the coach's decision list? I don't know who plays point other than putting the ball back in Devin Booker's hands, which puts that much more emphasis on what he has to do to carry that team. So it's hard for me to back the Hawks, although in the underdog situation here, it might be worthwhile. We've talked an awful lot, guys, about the Atlanta Hawks and their first half home numbers, over-under. They were on an 8-0 under streak, but since then it's become 3-0 to the over. This game, Joe, at 230.5, I think is probably a bit too high total-wise. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to play it, but I just think it's gotten out of reach. Obviously, injuries carry these NBA numbers to places where maybe they shouldn't be carried a lot of times. A difficult game here. Maybe you look at the first half, but I'm probably going to lay off this one.
All right, laying off of this one here, guys. Round the horn. No Rubio, no bet. That seems to be bottom line. So we'll move on to game number 2 here, guys. The Utah Jazz taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn welcomes back Kyrie, at least for now, until he gets injured again. But right now, this game opened up at 218 for a total. I'm seeing it up as high as 222.5 right now, guys. 3 points is what Utah is laying as a road favorite there at the Barclays Center. Even 3.5. It's bouncing back between 3.5. So, Ski, listen, Utah been absolutely on fire over the last month here. Brooklyn looked real good in Kyrie's return. Do you think they keep it going at home here tonight?
It's been tough for me. I woke up this morning and I looked at it early, and I was trying to find every way to take the Jazz. I watched that number slowly increase from 1 to 2.5 and up to where it is now, and I just never got there. But the Jazz, I've been saying they're a bet on team. They've been covering like crazy. Brooklyn, they've covered a couple games, but I'm not just so sure it continues. They do get LeVert back and they have Kyrie back, so it's possible. They're 6-0 as a home dog. I looked to my last 5 game stats. The defense has been better for Brooklyn. Offense has been atrocious, but I think that definitely increases with LeVert and Irving, and they've been a better rebounding team. So I think it's a little tricky, and it was a little situation that kind of goes back to 2002 where it would have the Nets covering 76.9% of the time. So I stayed off, but I do deep down lean the Jazz.
Let me tell you how you take Utah tonight. You ready? You asked Tony Finn. Tony Finn, Utah, Brooklyn here. Favorite in the series, 6-1 against the number in the last 7. However, last time out, it was the dog that won. So what do you think here, man? You riding with the favorite on the road?
I passed on this game for one reason and one reason only, and that is that my intel is that Donovan Mitchell's not quite right. He's been ill. He's been sick. He's got some bumps and bruises, and without Mitchell, I'm off.
Interesting. Is he playing tonight? Do we know?
He's probable.
He's probable. Okay, so
yeah.
It's he's got some sort of rash that's not working out.
Whatever you want to call it.
Brings us to the doc. Doc. Apparently Mitchell's got a rash. He's not playing. Does that bother you at all? Should he just rub some cream on it, get back in there? Do you trust Utah in this spot here tonight?
Well, I think what Tony was saying is that he is playing. He just doesn't quite trust the percentage that maybe he's going at tonight, and so
how ironic you're explaining to us exactly who's home and away here today. Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead, explain it one more time.
Yes, I am. Yes, I don't know about the rest of these teams. I mean, it's hard to say. The Jazz have been over the last 5 games. The Jazz have been the best offensive team. They also are doing a pretty great job on defense. Best net rating. The Nets, so they looked good with a big win, but they didn't put up. It was 100. Rating on offense that they put up. So I mean, obviously with LeVert and Irving, it's better. But I know I think right at the open, if there was a chance I wonder if it happened right around when Tony usually says it happened, that big move from 1 all the way up to 3 and then maybe more, because it doesn't look like there's much money. And so it's like Joe says, that somebody that's really smart is putting money down, because I think the money split 75-25 nets, but the line is going the other way. So it's a little bit of an interesting spot. I wouldn't be on either, because I just don't trust the Nets yet, especially with Irving, like you said, injury prone and, strife prone, and who knows how that goes. It's hard to get in front of the Jazz train too.
Yeah, the number does look there, Rob Vino, like it's going to be heading back down towards Brooklyn here. That looks like it's where it's going. So do you trust Brooklyn here? We were big on Kyrie his first time back.
Yeah, it's interesting because if Donovan Mitchell is feeling the side effects of a flu bug or a virus, the early money that pushed that game from 1 to 3 would indicate that it ain't so bad. But if it comes back down, maybe as the day progresses, it's, we need Chuck there to give us a medical report on this guy, maybe see how he's feeling in that game. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10. They've been on fire. We pointed to the fact that Mike Conley Jr. has been absent during all of this. Certainly, Donovan Mitchell has taken over, and it's the Jazz team from last year. Now, if Mitchell is under the weather a little bit, Joe, and he's not 100%, then I don't know. Where do they go? Does Joe Ingles play the point? I'm not really sure how they operate without both of those guys in a contest. That'll be difficult. I do think Brooklyn, here's the thing with Kyrie. The other day they played Atlanta without Trae Young, so they win 108-86. It was kind of a blowout from beginning to end. But with Kyrie, the offense gets better, the defense doesn't, basically. And the Nets bench gets deeper. And all of a sudden, the last couple of games, made a point last week about talking about Brooklyn's field goal percentages from the floor, how weak they were with all these good shooting guards. But they've come back the last couple of games and shot better than 48% in 2 in a row, 53 in their last game. So I like the Nets from an offensive standpoint. I also like the fact that I think their defense will decline a little bit now that Kyrie's back. Total has shot up a little bit too much for me, though. The early number was good. This number right now, a little bit of a question mark, but I might lean toward over.
We're going to lean towards some point here. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I just wanted to add one thing. I'm not going to say by any means that Brooklyn's a great team, but they did get LeVert, they have Kyrie, and just looking, like I've said, Utah's a bet-on team, but over all of these games on the winning streak, they play really, really poor teams.
Okay. All right, it's worth keeping in mind here, guys. Next game up also, it won't get any hotter than this team here is the Memphis Grizzlies, guys. Memphis Grizzlies at home taking on the Houston Rockets. This one opens up with another, again, this is back-to-back. Looks like 3 games in a row here, guys. We're talking about home dogs here. Are you writing that down, Doc? Good. Home dogs. That's right. Memphis is home in this game. Houston's coming to town. Houston opened up as a 5-point favorite. I'm still seeing a lot of 5s, maybe a 4.5. The total also creeping up from 238 to 240. I mean, let's face it, guys. Grizzlies coming in for their 6th win in a row here tonight, and offense has never been an issue here, averaging 127 points per game during this winning stretch. That's 7 points better, Tony Finn, than the damn Houston Rockets here. So before we get to Rob and his over, how about it, man? Are you trusting Memphis to at the very least cover? Could we be looking at a dog situation here?
It's this game. I spent some time on this game and answered a couple of my own questions in my head. You know how that crazy stuff goes, right? And then I left it alone simply because much of what you just outlined. I want more reasons to back Memphis in this game. And there was just some question marks in the front court. The Capella, who's you've got a bad heat. There was just so many injuries that lead me to Memphis. The number, and then I said to myself, nothing seems right here. Nothing equal. Not 1 + 2 doesn't equal 3. So I just passed it. I wish I had more answers for you, but I don't.
You talk to yourself often?
As much as possible.
Great,
I don't answer myself.
Just asking for a friend. There is a doctor on the panel here. Ski, talk to me, brother. Finn talks to himself. Can't come up with an answer. Please give us an answer here, man. You back in? Are they hell yes, or what's going on here?
Well, looking at the Rockets, they're not good on the road.
Yeah.
5-9 is a road favorite. 0-4 against the spread since Christmas on the road. I never really want to back them on the road. They do step up when they play competition, but I think when they play lower teams, they don't really care. They're 2-3 against the spread without Westbrook, and the Grizzlies, they're coming in here with a couple of injuries. I do think those guys, majority of them, will play, but they're hot. One team is hot at home, especially. One team is poor on the road. So I'm going to go with the hot team. The offense has been better. They're the number 2 offensive rated team and rebounding team over the last 5 games. I think the defense can step up too. 7-1 against the spread the last 8 at the house, and versus defenses that allow more than 106 points per game, they're 18-9 against the spread. So I'll go with the Grizzlies. And as far as the total, usually I would think it's an over, and probably more so first half. But without Westbrook, the pace is going for the Rockets. And although Memphis can make people play at their pace, it's just tough to back it without Westbrook in there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Rob, no Westbrook. That means that's 38 missed shots they won't have. So talk to us here, man. Who you rolling with this? You going over even without Westbrook's missed shots? And Rob's frozen, so we're going to go to the Doc. Go ahead, Doc, talk to us there. Look at it. He's so blown away by the analysis. He can't even talk right now. Look at Rob. He can't even talk. So talk to us, Doc. What do you got going on here? You going over, under? Who you backing?
It's funny that you went to Rob before me because I was going to comment about how I was excited to see where Rob was on this total because, we talk about these high totals and the Grizzlies, Ski had tweeted about it or Ralph had, and the Grizzlies just, can't seem to go under. It doesn't really matter who they're playing. And so it's interesting when they don't have Westbrook on the other end, how much they can make the Rockets go at that pace. I still think, I like the first half better as well. They both have been trending over in the last 10 games on the first half, but I don't think I could take an under here. I mean, 240 is a crap ton of points, but it's the same situation as the Spurs. Like, was there a number that wasn't going to be right? And it turned out there wasn't. It almost hit 260. So I just think that, the Rockets haven't looked all that bad scoring-wise without Westbrook. And like you said, maybe they're missing less shots. Maybe they're not running as much as they do because Harden moseys up the court. But Westbrook leads to a lot of turnovers and, garbage basketball. And so and on the side, I wouldn't be fading the Grizzlies at this point because I wouldn't trust these Rockets. Can't trust them a full game, and the Grizzlies are getting a decent amount of points, so it seems like a no-brainer to me.
All right, no-brainer there. You heard it. Anytime a doctor tells us no-brainer, Tony Finn, we usually roll all over that. Maybe you can help us figure out why Rob Vino is in anaphylactic shock over there or something. I don't know what's going on. We'll get him back in a second, though. Are you there, Rob? Are you there? No. Good. All right, let's move on to the next game then. We've actually destroyed Houston long enough, so let's destroy another fun team. How about the New York Knicks here tonight, guys, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks here as we take a look at this. Let me see, latest line. Ooh, it's actually it's almost 20. We got 17s out there, guys. 17 for the Milwaukee Bucks at home, Knicks on the road. Believe it or not, the total continues to creep up. I'm seeing 229. So, Ski, we'll start with you. I mean, talk to me here. You trust the old Knickerbockers here tonight to cover?
I don't want to lay those points, but no, I don't trust the Knicks either. The next time I would probably look towards the Knicks' way would be when they get Morris back in the lineup to help boost that offense. But besides that, I'm not really going to look their way. They're 2-4 against the spread their last 6. Defense is last in the league over their last 5 games. And the Bucks, I mean, the coach kind of went into them a couple games ago, and they look like they've been concentrated and focused ever since. They want to play fast. They're playing more efficient. So it'll be Bucks for me. And the total is tough. I don't really have an opinion on